us, what did God call us in the Bible?
The chosen people?
Yeah, that's a good one, the chosen people, but the Lord gets even more specific. So, if you go into it, have you ever heard of the Israelites? No? So the chosen people in the Bible was called the Israelites. Let's get Deuteronomy 1:1. Can I show you that real quick? Because I'm going to show you how did the Lord call them the chosen and why they was called the chosen and who they may be in this world today. You got time for that, sis? I know I said the verse today, but if you got time to learn, hey, what better place is it to know? Keep going, keep.
Deuteronomy 1:1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Who?
Unto all Israel.
This is Moses speaking to the Israelites. Let's go to Deuteronomy 7:6. Now let's see how the Lord feels about these Israelites. Who are they? Why is they called the Israelites? And let's see how the Lord feels about them.
Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people.
Or what?
For thou art an holy people.
Now, if I was to ask you a question, what do holy mean? Godly. Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Okay. Yeah, so when you go into holy, it's just set apart, different. But let's see, this is how the Lord feels. He gets even more specific.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
What?
To be a special people unto himself above all people.
One more time, King.
Above all people.
Now remember, this is Moses speaking to the Israelites. He's letting them know that the Most High God said that they are a very special people above all the other people. Now that doesn't mean God doesn't necessarily deem other nations as anything else, but nevertheless, he said that the Israelites, he made all the other ones, but the Israelites are here. So though he may have 10 pair of shoes, that one pair may be better than others. So that's how the Lord feels about the Israelites. So if I was to ask you, who are the Israelites in today's society?
Who are they?
Who are they? That's a good question. So we're gonna play a game through the Spirit, right? We're gonna try to read some of these curses, because these curses that God placed upon the Israelites in today's society are gonna be identifying markers to let us know who they are. Right? So we're gonna read the first one. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. So this is Moses. So do you know who Moses is, first and foremost? I'm probably going forward. So you know the condition that they was living in when they was in Egypt? How was they living? The Israelites.
They were slaves,
They
right?
were slaves, exactly. So now we all know the story. Moses had to come and raise them up, and they split the Red Sea and brought them across. You know that story? So now this is them after they came across, and Moses is reiterating these things that God told them. You following me, sis? Okay, what's your name if you want to ask? Free? Okay, Free. I just wanted to ask you that. So Free, we're going to read you Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. This is what Moses is saying that the Lord said the Israelites must do to be considered a special chosen people to.
Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
You know what hearken means? And let me know if I'm going too fast. Sometimes the brother say I may speak a little fast, right? So the Lord said that the Israelites will have to, the Lord said that they should hearken. So hearken, it just means to listen or to hear, right? So that's what hearken literally means. So he said, it shall come to pass if they shall hearken or listen to what?
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
That's the second time the Lord said the Israelites were going to be set above all the other people. In Deuteronomy 7:6, he said they're a chosen, special people above all other nations. And on this, he said, if they was to listen to keep my laws, statutes, commandments, then he would set them above high above the nations again. But we all have, you got to.
What makes somebody an Israelite?
That's a good point, and that's what we're touching on right now. So the question you answered, we're gonna try to figure that out within the next couple of verses, if that's fine with you. Okay, so now I'm gonna stem a question to you, another question. Now we all have parents, right? You may have had chores. If you had a certain chore, I say you had to wash the dishes. If you didn't do them, would something happen? Would it be some kind of consequence? Even if it's not a whooping, it could be maybe you didn't get the $10 that you would have got, or maybe you can't go outside, right? So the same way the Most High God had it set up, he said, hey, this is my covenant that I'm going to make with y'all, but to be part of that, y'all got to keep my laws, statutes, commandments. Now, if you don't, this is what's going to happen. Let's get Deuteronomy 28:15, King.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Right, so now this is the opposite of if they was to listen to keep the commandments, right?
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
So
This is the stipulation if they don't listen, right?
to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
All these what?
that all these curses,
If I was to ask free, if I was to ask you a question, is a curse a good or a bad thing?
Bad thing.
It's a bad thing, right? So now God said that these curses or these bad things are going to be placed upon the Israelites as an identifying marker to let us know who they are in today's society. Let's get that in Deuteronomy 28 and 46, King.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
When you read 45, it's just referring to the curses. So he said these curses are going to be on the Israelites as a sign, just like how we know we're on Lakeshore and Bodie. How we know that? Because the sign's right there. The same way that these curses are going to be those identifying markers on the Israelite as well. Keep going.
And for a wonder,
Make you think like, dang, that did happen to my people. Because when we read some of these things, you're going to be like, dang, that did happen to our people, right? And keep going.
and upon thy seed forever.
And we're going to figure out because the seed of the Israelites are still in today's society because we're still living, right? It's still many races of people, right? So we're going to find out that the seed of those Israelites are still upon this earth. Now, let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 16. Now, these are the identifying markers to let us know who's the Israelites. How do we know who they are? So it's going to be by these curses. Let's read Deuteronomy 28 and 16.
Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Now, we already understood that being cursed is a bad thing, right? Right? So he said, cursed shall you be in the city. Now, when you think collectively as a whole, what nation of people as a whole, now let's talk about one or two, but as a whole is cursed in the cities? Remember, curse is bad. So as a whole, what people lives in the worst conditions in the cities, wherever you go? Whether it's Oakland, Pittsburgh, Sacramento, what race of people as a whole would you say lives the worst conditions in the ghettos, slums?
People of color.
People of color, right? Because, I mean, last time I checked, they're not the ones living in Walnut Creek, right? So we just gonna make it plain, right? So that's a curse. Now that's one of what they say, like baseball, 3 strikes and you out, right? Now that's one, right? Keep on this.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
Another curse or another bad condition that was gonna live in, they was gonna be cursed in the field. Now, what people you know, historically speaking, was cursed in literal fields? Sugar cane, tobacco. I mean, who's still cotton? It was our people, right? And we're not making this up because history backs up everything that we're saying, right? So God said that this is going to be based upon our people, right? Or what's well, I don't want to jump the gun, even though we kind of figuring it's happening to our people, but being cursed in the city happening to our people as a whole. Being in those cotton fields, picking the tobacco, to tobacco, all these different so-called crops and herbs happen to our people. So we narrowing it down. Who are the Israelites? Because remember, all these things are going to be fitting into the Israelites, right? Is that making sense for you? Okay, all praises. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse number 54, right?
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
This is another curse that was going to be placed upon our people, because if you know anything of the history of the Israelites, they was a very caring and loving people, right? They didn't just go around and doing drive-bys and shootings on each other for no reason. Now, he said, now you're going to have an evil eye towards your brother. What people on earth do you think have an evil eye towards each other for no reason, collectively? I mean, see, it'd be our people. Because like I was going into, who's the only one doing, I never heard on the so-called white man doing drive-bys on each other. Right? Like I always use an example, you step on his shoe when you get into a fight. It could have been something simple like, man, I'm sorry. And that could have solved all that confusion and contention by just a simple, man, I'm sorry, it was an accident. But what our people like to do, we like to get fist fight and shoot and all these other things. But it's more on that, free. Keep on.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead. Which he shall lead.
How we even leaving our children? Now what race of people have the most single family household, or say even if it's just a mother or just a father? What race of people has that happen the most out of all other nations? What about the Chinese? Do that happen to the Chinese? What about the so-called what's some other races? Right, all these other nations, East Indian, that don't happen to them. The mother and the father is there, but in our households, you know, it's not a common thing, right? Either the father in jail or dad are locked up from having an evil eye towards each other, or vice versa. You know, maybe the mother is gone or something. You know, something happened to her. But nevertheless, these are placed upon our people as a whole. Why is that? Because God said that these are going to be curses that's going to fall our people for not keeping His commandments. Let me get one for you, sis. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I just want you to understand it because this is only happening to our people. Let's get Deuteronomy 28:68.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
That sounds crazy, right? Because the Lord is telling Moses is telling the Israelites that the Lord is going to bring them back into Egypt, but then they leave already. So when you go into that word Egypt, it's not literally talking about Egypt. Like you had said earlier, what was the condition that they was living in over in Egypt? How was the Israelites living?
Slavery.
It was slavery. So we're going to show you what that means. Let's get Deuteronomy 5 and 6.
Deuteronomy 5 and 6. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage.
From the what?
From the house of bondage.
That means, so it just, Egypt in that context means bondage or captivity. So when we go back to it in Deuteronomy 28:68, let's read that.
Reading on. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now, even going into slavery again, but the mode of transportation is what again?
With ships.
Now, who that happened to historically speaking? What people went on slavery on slave ships? Did you know that was in the Bible? That's crazy, right? It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. God said that he was going to bring our people into slavery again, but the transportation was going to be by slave ships. Right? So I don't know if you see the pictures on here. You know, we're visual people, right? Ships. They make movies about it all the time. We know all the movies they make about Django and all these other movies. That's portrayed, that happened to our people because of the Lord said that we was going to be cursed if we didn't listen to these commandments, sis. Do that make sense? So would you say that you would be an Israelite according to these things we showed you?
Possibly.
All praise to the Most High. Right? So let's finish that out, King.
Reading on. And by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right?
And there you shall be sold unto your enemy.
When we called those slave ships, who was the people who was buying us? What nation of people was buying us? The Lord said they was our enemies. I didn't say that. The Lord said that. The Lord said, and when you land on the, read that part again, King.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies
For what?
for bondmen and bondwomen,
And what else?
and no man shall buy you.
See that? So the Lord said that we literally was going to be sold for slaves, man, by these other nations. We didn't make that up. We just reading what the Bible says, and we all believe what the Bible says. And if the Lord said that the other nations were our enemies and that they did this to us, hey, we're gonna go with it. So since not just to make it plain, we would be the Israelites, right? We fell from our higher estate because we didn't keep God's commandments. So if the thing that caused us to fall and not be the Lord's people was to not keep the commandments, what do you think we should do to be called the Lord's people? Keep the commandments, sister. That's right. So, let's get that in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and 12.
Teach up.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse number 12. And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Yes, to keep the commandments. But now this is Moses saying, hey, Israel, what do the Lord require from us? Keep on.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord.
To do what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
Like our sister Free said, we got to keep the commandments of God. Right? So if I was to ask you, do you know any commandments of God?
Thou shalt not kill.
That's a good one. Thou shalt not kill. You know any other ones?
Thou shalt not steal.
Okay, that's funny. That's funny. So can I show you some that you may have never heard? You may have. Now, I don't want to assume that you didn't, but I just so we're gonna show you some that you may not have. Let's get
Leviticus 11 and 7. And the swine.
the what?
And the swine.
You know what the swine is? So when you look up the name for it, it's just the ancient name for a pig. Pork and do you eat pork? Like sausage, pepperoni. Okay, we're gonna see what the Lord said.
Though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
Now, I know you probably like, why he's saying that? So when you read and read up about 4 verses, the Lord said the attributes of a clean beast, they have to be part of the hoof, chew the cud, and they got to have 3 attributes to be a clean beast. But the pig only has 2. So we're going to see what the Lord said about it.
He is unclean to you.
He is working.
He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
See that? But this is something that our people don't know. Our people don't know that pork is an unclean beast, that this isn't something that we should be indulging in. really, if you want to get technical, the pig was made as the human disposal. You know, like Republic Service or waste management. The pig was the waste management before waste management came into play, if that was to make sense. So that's how we know that we don't supposed to eat that animal. It's even deeper than that. Keep going on this, kid.
Verse number 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales.
Whatsoever have what?
Whatsoever hath fins and scales.
So God said the only thing that we can eat that come out of the water, it has to have fins and scales. What would y'all say? Sis, I got a question for y'all. If I was to ask y'all, what comes out of the water that has fins and scales?
You said fins and scales.
Yeah, what comes out of the water that has both fins and scales? Oh, you said fish. That's right. So I was just showing our sister right here. We were trying to show our sister, because God, y'all believe in the Bible? You know what I'm asking? So what we're showing our sister Free right here is our nationality, who we are according to the Bible, and things that God said that we can and can't do. Now, we were just showing our sister right here that in Leviticus 11 and verse number 11, Leviticus 11 and 9, God said that the things that we can eat that come out of the water, it has to have fins and scales. So that's why I asked y'all that question. Well, what's some things that have fins and scales? It's fish, but what's things that our family love to eat that come out of the water that doesn't have fins and scales? Crab, shrimp, right, lobster. So that's why we're just filling our sister in. Like, these are the things that the Lord said that we couldn't eat, and they have a purpose by being here. They are filtration systems of the water. When you take the shrimp and the crab and all these lobsters out, that's why the water be murky and filthy. So that's why we were trying to show it. That's why God loved us so much that He gave us a dietary. Let me get that at 2.
Verse 12.
All right, sister.
Y'all may be Israelites, y'all got to repent and keep God's commandments. All right, sisters?
Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you.
Yo, what?
That shall be an abomination unto you.
Sister Free, so God said that if it doesn't have fins and scales that come out of water, it's an abomination to us. We can't eat it. Right? You know, and if I'm being honest, you know, every time back before I knew about this, when I used to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, eat crab legs, my stomach be messing up afterwards, you know. So, but now it made sense, like, oh, that's because God said that we don't supposed to eat that. Right, but nevertheless, you know, so those some commandments that you made. I'm gonna give you another one. Do you know what today is? What's so special about today? I know it's Sunday. You know, you was out for a walk in the park, at the lake, just chilling. We're gonna show you what's so special about today. Let's get this kid. Show you real quick, Free.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Right? Remember the Sabbath day.
One more time, King.
Remember the Sabbath day.
You ever heard of the Sabbath day? Sunday. Okay, that's a good. You said Sunday. Okay, we're gonna show you what the Bible says. Who taught you that the Sabbath day was Sunday? Church. Okay, that's a good point. Bring this up.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
So he says
6 days should you labor and do all your work. But what?
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So the 7th day is the Sabbath. So you got a phone in your hand, right? If you was to go to your phone and go into the calendar, what is the 7th day according to the calendar?
What is the 7th day? What does that mean?
What day would the actual Sabbath? The 7th day fall on according to your calendar? If you just go to your calendar, and we know it starts with an S, right? But doesn't it also end with an S? So what S comes first?
Saturday.
Is it?
Saturday comes before Sunday, right? I'm not sure.
No, but on your calendar. Yeah, on your calendar. Yeah. So the first S. So what's the next day after the first S? Monday.
Monday?
See that? So you see what the world taught us, that the Sabbath day was really Sunday, but according to the Bible, and the Sabbath being the 7th day is really Saturday. Do you see that?
So the Sabbath is Saturday?
That's right, sister.
The day everybody sins?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And you see why they did that to our people? To keep us in sin. And we know that when we're in sin, we're going against what God said. That's why they do that. Why do you think they pay us on Friday? Why do you think they pay us on Friday? Because we go and spend it on Friday and Saturday and follow the Sabbath of God. The Sabbath is really Saturday for you, Sister Free. But they tell us it's Sunday, and that's all doctrine. But when we go into the Bible, it's right in our face. We just read it. And look on our calendar and just be like, dang, hold on, they said it was Sunday, but the whole time it was really Saturday. That's crazy, right? You know, Seventh-day Adventists, they actually keep the Sabbath day on Saturday because they know that that's the true day. That's why they do that. But Christianity has indoctrinated us into believing things that they say versus what the Bible says. You notice everything we said, where we come from, the Bible, right? I'm not interpreting no kind of way. I'm just to see when you understanding certain things in the Bible, it says that you got to give the sense. But that don't mean I give my own interpretation. I'm just reading it and breaking it down. That's what people had to do who has little understanding of it, right? So the true Sabbath is Saturday, Sister Free, right? It goes Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. That's when the day starts and that's when the day ends. So hopefully, you can start keeping it the right way, right? So you know things that you can do on the Sabbath day.
Things that I can do?
Yeah. Because remember, the Lord says 6 days you can do all your pleasures, do what you want to do, but the 7th day keep it holy. It's the Sabbath. So we're gonna show you some different things that you can do. Let's finish that verse out, King Barbara Gashad, and then we're gonna get a couple different things that show you what you can do on that day. All right, Free?
Book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8 from the top. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
What day is the Sabbath again, Sister? Sister Free?
The 7th day.
What day is that again?
Saturday.
That's right.
Is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
One more time, King.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
So on that day, that's why God said you got 6 days to do what you want.
Right.
But you got to keep the Sabbath day holy. You can't do no work. That's why you see we out here we got families, but we could be at home doing nothing. But we rather come and show our people this knowledge that God gave us. For free.
right.
We don't got no collection plate out here.
Right.
We just want our people to understand the knowledge like how we got.
Right.
The Lord gave it to us free, so we're gonna give it to our people free. Keep reading.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy...
So you saying nobody in the house can do no work?
Verse 11. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them
And
is,
then what?
and rested the 7th day.
And then what?
And rested the 7th day.
See that? So on the 7th day, it's a day of rest. That's when you hear about the Sabbath. It's a day of rest. Let me bring this out.
Exodus 35 and 3.
Bring it out.
6 days, Salakia. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day, that's why the 6th day is technically the prep day.
Right.
Because God said that the 7th day you don't supposed to do no work, no buying or selling. In Nehemiah 10 and 31. You can't buy or sell on that day. That's why you got 6 days to gather those things already. But when he just read in Exodus 35 verse 2 on down, it says that you also don't supposed to kindle a fire on the Sabbath day in your habitation where you're dwelling. So like say if I want to cook hot breakfast or like some eggs and some turkey bacon, we can't do that on that Sabbath day because God said we can't kindle a fire. So what we do, we eat the fruit. You still can eat other foods. It's not a thing that we're gonna just die because we can't eat for the day. Because you can still eat, but you just gotta make sure that it's like sandwiches, popcorn, fruit, vegetable salads, things like that. Because why? The Lord said don't kindle a fire, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, all praises. Let's get this Nehemiah 10:31.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 31.
Bring it out.
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day,
What day?
on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of
It's the
them,
Sabbath day, and they, the vendors out.
that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath day or on the holy day, and that we would leave the 7th year.
So
He said that we can't buy or sell on the Sabbath day.
Right.
That's why you got to get it before the Sabbath day. So, excuse me, when Thursday night or Friday comes in, make sure you got all the things. You got 6 days to get everything you need. All right. So you got any questions? I know we tried to explain a lot to you. Do you got any questions or concerns? Anything? Or anything we said? Hopefully we can kind of show you.
I gotta do some reading on this.
Hey, let's get that Acts 17 and 11. That's somebody thing to say.
But I gotta go for now.
Okay, that's okay. So free, long as you understand, you're Israelite. But what you just said, this what this Bible verse says.
The book of Acts, chapter 17, and verse 11. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily.
Do what?
And searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so.
That's a diligent thing that you do. Now, since you just put out the black and white, I do got to show you that God said that us smoking, it defiles our temple. Have you
Defiles
ever?
our temper? Makes us
Do you
mad?
know temple, like our body? Because when you
Oh
smoking,
no, I'm trying to quit.
okay, all praise. But no, only reason I say that because I seen it, right?
I
So,
quit smoking weed though.
all praise to the Most High. That's what it's about. It's about steps, right? It's about steps. Now, it's no sin to drink. It's no sin to drink, but just as long as it's in moderation. But this, I gotta show you that. If you, I know you gotta go, but let's get 1 Corinthians 3:16 for the season real quick.
This is the book of
Us.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16.
I think I want 19.
Know ye not that you are the temple of God?
What? All right, my bad.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God,
Man or woman defile the temple of God, what's that?
him shall God destroy.
That's it. He said, so if you defile in the temple of God, he's gonna destroy you. And it may not be him physically doing it. You can get cancer. That's why when you smoke on the Black and Miles and cigarettes, what it say on that package? May cause cancer. Because these things aren't meant to be inhaled. Just like if it's a burning house, you gonna just stay inside of it and just like, man, this show is a cool scenery to be in. No, you gotta get out of there. So the same way with the smoke, you wanna get it out. The only thing that we can do when it comes to like say these different things was made to be ingested and eat, not smoke. Because when you smoke it and burn it, that's what causes the chemical reaction. So you can eat it. Not saying lawfully you can just go and eat edibles and weed and everything, but these things that we used to do, we can eat it lawfully, right? But when it comes to the burning of it, that's when you create the chemical, and that's when it causes harm to your body. So we shouldn't be smoking these things. We used to all do it, sis. Let's believe we used to do it too, sis. But like you said, it's mighty that you say you don't smoke no more. You taking them steps.
Pray for me.
We gonna pray for you, sis. One more thing, one more. I know you gotta go, free, sister. Free. That cross, you gotta, sister. That's idol worship. Remember, God said you should have no idols or have no other gods before me. Just like my brother always use an example. If your mother died on the cross, would you wear it and just advertise it, man? No, right? So how much more do you think us having, if Christ died, or if the Lord our Savior died on the cross, why should we just be flaunting and wearing it? God said, let's get that. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 7.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse number 2. I am the Lord thy God, which hath brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Right? Because
Right?
people make that into a God. Keep going, King.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image,
See that, sister? That's a graven image. Keep going.
or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above,
See that? He said, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or what?
or that is in earth beneath.
And if our Lord died on that, we don't supposed to be wearing that, sister. So we gotta show you that. So it's all praise to the Most High that you got a humble spirit. All praises, sister. Free.
Have a good one, y'all.
All right, sister. You gotta repent, keep God's commandments, sis. All right. All praise. Can we give you a flyer, sis? And all of this that we showing you, sis, it was just reproof. And you got a humble spirit. We appreciate it. All praise to the Most High, man. Sister learned diligently, man. And she could have said, "Hey, I don't want to hear that." Nah, she said she started smoking. Lord willing, the Lord can show her more. She said she gonna go into it herself, man. Right? So all praise to the Most High, man. All right. So let's get Psalm 118 from the top. All right. I ain't read John 21. Let's get John 21 and 17 first. Psalm 118 from the top. Okay. He said he got Psalm. All praise to the Most High. Sister Free, man. At least she was humble and, hearkening, man. So, but hey, all praise to the Most High.
This is the book of John, chapter 21.
So how you doing, brother? All praises. All praises to the Most High. You all believe in the Bible?
Man, look at this, man.
You believe in the Bible, my brother?
I'm just trying to take this all in. Yo, Lord, man, here is one.
You listen on one? Yeah, that's right, brother. In the name of the Lord, brother. See that? I know everybody.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
what's your name, brother?
Taji.
Taji. What's up, Taji? What's your name, brother? Say again? Taji. Oh, Taji. Okay.
Taji.
Oh, okay. Junior. Okay. All praise to the Most High.
That's right.
That's mighty. So you say you see us here in unison? We ain't over there fighting and shooting.
Yeah, I
and
said, whoa, I
See
need
that?
to kind of soak this in right now. I love
All
to see that.
That's 2 and 1. I'm gonna show you why we write this, brother, right? Because we know who we are according to the Bible, and first and foremost, this is one of the main reasons why we gather together. Give me Zephaniah 2 and 1, King. Bible show. And we can manage together, man.
Right.
It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Right. Go.
Gather yourselves together.
Why we here at Lake Mary and we can do anything else on the Sabbath?
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
You say we the nation that's not desired. They see us and they say, them niggas doing over there,
Right,
man.
right.
We shooting dice.
Right.
We making a rap video.
Right.
No, man, we in here united in the name of Yahweh Shemashah, which the Lord calls God and Jesus Christ. So we out here to come and teach our people who they are according to the Bible. Right? We're not the so-called black men. We're not the African American men. We're not the Negroes or the colored men. Hey, we the Israelites that the Bible speak of. You ever heard of the Israelites, brother?
Yes, sir.
What you know about the Israelites? What you hear?
You know what? I'm a beginner in just understanding. So honestly, I don't even know much.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to stop and.
All praises. All
Yeah,
praises.
yeah,
Okay,
sir.
well that's mighty. That's mighty. So if you got time, you and the junior, if y'all got time, we can show y'all how we know that we the Israelites without the Bible. You believe in the Bible, obviously, right?
Look, I still got it.
Yeah. All praises. Okay, so we're trying to show you. I know there's a lot going on. See that? Okay, all praises.
You're in there too. That's
All praises, all praises. So now we're gonna try to show you how we know that we're the Israelites according to the Bible. Now, you know who Moses is, obviously, right? What was he known for?
I know the name Moses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, Moses, he was basically, in a sense, the one who was to get Israel out of Egypt, out of the bondage or the captivity that they was in, because they was oppressed by the Egyptians. So Moses was their Superman in a sense, right? He was the Superman that come in. You heard about the splitting the Red Sea and they walking across it. That was Moses who did that for his people, the Israelites, because Moses himself was an Israelite, right? So he had to do that because of the fact that his people was oppressed. Now I'm just fast forwarding for you. We could be all day with it, but nevertheless, now we fast forwarding. We go to Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1, or Deuteronomy 28 and 1. This is Moses speaking to the Israelites and giving them a commandment that God told them to give to the Israelites. That God told Moses to give to the Israelites. So we're gonna get that for you. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. We're gonna be right to it.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1.
This is Moses speaking to the Israelites.
Now this is after they came out of Egypt, he split the Red Sea. This is all after that, right? Keep going.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
Like we like to ask all our people, do you know what hearken means, brother? So it just means to listen or to hear. So he said, it shall come to pass if they shall listen, just like you tell your son, hey, I said do the dishes. If he do them, he listen. If he didn't listen, he didn't do them, he didn't listen, right? The same thing. So if he shall listen, then what?
And it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
One more time, King.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So the positive thing that God said was going to happen to the Israelites if they kept his commandments was they was going to be blessed above all the other nations. Right? So that's the positive thing that would have happened. Just like I was explaining with your son, if you told him to do the dishes and he didn't do them, it may not be an actual whooping, but it's going to be some kind of a consequence. Whether you yell or whether it's going to be some kind of consequence. That's the same way that the Lord said was going to happen to the Israelites. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 45.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses.
One more time.
Moreover, all these curses.
What is a curse? Is it a good or a bad thing? You said it's a bad thing, right? So God said, moreover, now remember, we understood the good thing that would have happened if they kept the commandments, they was going to be blessed above everybody. But he said if they didn't listen, they was going to have curses placed upon them and what?
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
And do what?
And overtake
What do
thee.
it mean if you overtaken by something?
It took all the power from
You
you.
see that?
Right.
And that's the same way God said that if they didn't listen to keep the commandments, they're going to be overtaken by these various curses that we're going to try to show you, brother. Keep going.
Till thou be destroyed.
Till what?
Till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments.
Do what?
To keep his commandments.
So if they didn't keep the commandments, they was going to have these curses placed upon them. Keep going on the next verse.
And his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign. And
So, like we were showing you, these curses are going to be the identifying marker how we know we're the Israelites. Because you were saying you know a little bit, but you don't really know how. So we're trying to show you these curses are going to be the main clue of who are the Israelites in today's society. Because everybody's not going to be able to say, you know what, that happened to my people. They sound like us, right? So that's how we're going to. So we're going to read something for you. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and let's get 32.
Verse 32.
Bring it out.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Now remember, these are curses that we're referring to, and these are curses that are going to be placed upon a certain people. But these are the Israelites. These are going to be identified markers who the Israelites are. Let's read that again, Kings.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people,
Right.
and thine eyes shall look and fell with longing for them all the day long,
And that's your what?
and there shall be no might in thine hand.
That sound like, who did that happen to? Who children was literally forcefully given to somebody else and they couldn't do nothing about it? Our people, right? We cannot, I mean, everybody cannot relate with that. And we read it straight from the Bible. I'm not interpreting it no way, we just read it. Like, who did that happen to? Because God said that these are going to be the identifying markers as who the Israelites are. Right? Give me verse 37 on that, King.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
Shall what?
And thou shalt become an astonishment. A proverb.
So now the Lord said that we're going to be an astonishment, right? In the proverb, what is it? What do we mean to be astonished at something? Astonished at something.
It's like beyond great, I would say.
Right.
Past great. Right?
You see that, right?
Yeah,
Right. Keep going.
this thing?
A proverb.
Right? What is a proverb?
Proverbs is in the Bible.
Right. That's, yeah. It is in the Bible, man. But so you would be a proverb amongst other nations. Like, we're gonna just break it down. Keep.
And a byword.
What?
And a byword.
So what is a byword? It's the same thing. So it's being called something outside of your God-given nationality. That's why. Give me Psalm 44 and 11, King. I'll be sure.
Bring that out.
Psalm 44 and the verse 11.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 44 and verse 11. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught, and doest not increase their wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach.
What?
Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbor, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about.
So when you go into this, like, the Lord literally made us into a byword, everything outside of who we are. Now we're the niggas. Now we're the black folk. Now we're all these other names except for the Israelites. Why do every other nation know who they are and have they the Chinese, they the French, but we the black, the Negroes, the colored, and our grandparents was called what? Colored, what was the other name they was called? You know, Afro-American. Why our nationality changed every goddamn 5-10 years? Because God made that way.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 15. And ye shall leave your name.
One more time, King.
And ye shall leave your name.
In the Israelite.
And ye shall leave your name for a curse.
What?
For a curse.
That's literally what we read. He's really rewording what we just read in the book of Deuteronomy 28:37. We left our name for the nationality and people who we are, and now we're cursed. Now we're black. What does black mean? It's everything evil. Everything, like the brother was going to earlier, it's nothing positive about that. What they make when it comes to the cakes, you got the white for the angel food, and the black is the what? Devil food. That's crazy, man. Everything black is always going to be associated with evil, but we love the black power.
Right.
We're African American. Well, what part you come from, brother? If you're African American. All these other nations, they can say they come from. They Chinese, they come from China.
Right.
The Japanese, they come from Japan.
Right.
We black, where we come from? The land of black. You gotta make it make sense sometimes.
Well, we was kidnapped from our land, and we were brought over here.
So we gonna show you that. Let's get that for the brother. And that's the spirit that you brought that out, brother. Bring this out.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Yo!
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Like you just said. Now Egypt. Let's get Judith chapter 5 and verse 11. Right. Let's get the book of Judith in the Apocrypha 5 and verse 11. Real quick.
Right.
I'm gonna show you something, bro. I just want to clarify. I don't want to take too much of our time, but this is a learning curve, man.
I'm really
All praise to the Most High.
enjoying this.
All praise to the Most High.
But I do got to get down there soon.
Okay, we ain't gonna hold too much of your time,
enjoying this,
brother.
though, brother. Yes, sir.
All praise.
It's like school to me right now.
5 and verse 11. And it reads thus: Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them.
Remember, our people, when we was in Egypt, we was slaves and bondage. That's why Moses had to come and free us out of that and split the Red Sea and bring us out of that condition. That's why when I said earlier he was the Superman. But that's how they was.
And dwelt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring in brick, and made them slaves.
Yeah, what?
And made them slaves.
Our people were slaves over in Egypt. So when we read Deuteronomy 28:68, let's do that again.
Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
We were slaves over there. So it's just we was in bondage or slave or captivity over there. But look at the mode of transportation that we was going to be brought up out of that land.
With ships.
What, King?
With ships.
Did you just say that, brother? We was kidnapped and brought everywhere, from the west coast of Africa over to all these different parts. The Lord said he was going to scatter us amongst all the nations. Why is that? Because we didn't keep the commandments. Remember, the first one we read to you was, if we was to listen, we'd be able to remember. But if we don't listen, we're going to have these curses. And those are the curses. We are scattered amongst all nations. That's how we know that we are the Israelites. Nobody can say that happened to them besides our people. You got the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Of Negro descent, man. But nevertheless, that happened to our people, brother. Why? Because we didn't keep God's commandments. And that's how we know. It's more that we can show you. We know you got to get ready to go, but that's how we know that we're the Israelites, brother.
So we must basically submit our will to God's will and obey those commandments in order to come back to our true self. Is what I'm. Well, that's the basic path of what I'm hearing from.
That's right, brother. Literally, because remember, he said if we keep the commandments, we'll be above everybody. But if we don't, we're going to be in a low state. So, like to answer your question, like you said, we got to come back to the Lord and keep the commandments. Right. All right. Let's get that again, King. In Deuteronomy 10. Right. Bring out. I wasn't brought that one. Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12. Right. And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Yes, you're the Israelite, so he said, what did the Lord require from us?
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Submit our will to the Lord and do what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
Do what we want and just keep all the customs of this world.
To keep the commandments of the Lord. And his statutes which I command thee this day for thy good.
For the Lord.
For thy good.
Our good, brother. So you're right. We got to keep the commandments. But if we don't know them, how can we keep them? Because this world tells us, you ever heard of the Sabbath day?
Yeah. Yes,
They tell us the Sabbath day is on Sunday. But when we read the Bible, it says it's Saturday. So now what they doing? They making our people to be in sin. What days our people love to go party?
Then we go to church all
hungover. You see that?
Wrong mind.
But they want to keep us in sin like that, bro.
Saturday.
The Sabbath day. Let's show you real quick. You probably gotta go. That's crazy, right? They love to keep us in. Because when you read the book of Jude, chapter 5 and verse 11 on down, it says that as long as we are in sin, the Lord ain't gonna be dealing with us, man.
At all.
But as soon as we keeping the commandments, nobody can touch us, brother.
At all.
Exodus 20 and 8. Remember the Sabbath day. Remember the Sabbath day.
I told us to remember. Out of all these commandments that's right here, why he had to tell us only on the Sabbath day, remember it? Because they knew that the Lord knew that was going to change it, right? During the time of Constantine, they tried to issue in that Sunday worship, that sun worship, right? Instead of the true day.
To keep it holy, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day, But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
You look at your calendar, it goes S to S. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The Sabbath day is Saturday, brother, but they love to keep us in sin. They gonna be paid on Friday.
Right.
And do what you want to do on Sunday.
Then go to church Sunday.
And then go to Sunday. Yeah.
Over just me full of sin.
You see
now, right?
I done just committed adultery with 10 brothers' wives, and now I'm in church on Sunday.
Wait, look at some more women.
You said, yeah, look at that more women, man. They have a private Bible study session. You know, but nevertheless, these are the things that they do to promote us to keep us in sin.
Because the clubs are most lit when.
You said, say it again, brother?
Clubs are most lit when.
Friday, Saturday.
Right.
What they say? What's that dude name?
Everybody get paid Friday, then Saturday you spend your money, you go have your fun.
You see that?
I always thought that Sunday was the day, but hearing you break this, it makes sense because Saturday is when we get to the most shit.
That's the most day. When you hear about all shootouts and all that, Friday and Saturday. Friday they drunk, they got off work, so you get drunk, you go to the club, you know, woke up with a sister like, man, who are you?
Wow.
Maybe a man. But hey, that'd be a curse too, though. The Lord forbid, but nevertheless, yeah, brother, we the Israelites, today is the Sabbath day, which is Saturday, Friday, sundown, and Saturday, sundown, because when you go into the Bible, the day starts at sundown. They try to tell us it starts at 12 a.m., but that doesn't even make sense. Everything doesn't make sense.
And what does that mean, actually, when you say the Sabbath day? Like, what does that mean?
Well, Sabbath, when you even go into it, it's like 7 day of rest. Yeah, it's a day of rest. But 7, when you go into it, Sabbath, it means Sabado, and it just goes into, that's in Spanish, but it translates just to 7. Because when you go into it, it goes into 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So 7 days is the day of rest, brother. That's all it's going into, right?
So Saturday is
Saturday, yeah. That's right. Saturday. Friday, sundown. Yeah, that's right, brother.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Yes,
Right.
sir. Yes, sir.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 7. Verse 8, Slaki. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
Right?
Thou
He said, only
But on that day, we don't supposed to be doing work. That's why he said 6 days. That's what you need to do. But the 7th day, keep it holy, because holy just means to be set apart, separate. Don't do the same thing as doing those 6 days as the 7th day. And that's why we come out here and we all got families. We literally could be at home with our feet up, teaching our families, but we come out here with our brothers. We come and teach our family who they are according to the Bible.
that's right.
Right? Let's get Leviticus 11 and 7. I'm getting one more for you, because this one, another stumbling block.
Leviticus 11 and 7. And the swine.
And the what?
And the swine.
What's the swine, my brother? The pork. You eat pig?
Never in my life.
Oh, okay, that's mighty. Hey, that's mighty, man. A lot of brothers can't say.
We're going to read it anyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. They put it in a lot of stuff, so you never know, brother.
They do, brother.
Yes. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you.
We know the pig is an unclean thing. People
Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
God said that the pig is an unclean thing. We can't eat.
That's right.
You see that, sister?
Okay, so I got something to say.
Okay, sister, what's your question, sister?
My name is Ariana. I'm 24 years old from Houston, Texas.
Okay, sister.
I'm a
Ariana,
big Christian. You feel me?
Okay, all
I'm
praises.
nothing without Christ. You feel me? I can do all things through Christ.
Right,
If I
that's right,
believe in
that's right,
Him,
that's right, that's right.
So it's funny we're talking about Leviticus. You know the whole unclean animal diet, right? I've been on this kind of journey. My boyfriend is actually on the Leviticus diet as well. He's very strict when it comes to clean unclean animals. I would encourage all of you guys to follow it, because why? First of all, it's in the Bible, right? So everything in the Bible is true. So let's all follow it. You feel me?
And that's what we teaching right now. We teaching that we have to keep up.
Don't get me wrong. I love chicken. You know, I love chicken to death. You know, but it's unclean bird.
Well, how would you show that? The Lord didn't never say the chicken was unclean.
Well, didn't He say that you shouldn't eat? If the bird doesn't fly, right? If the bird doesn't fly, it's unclean, like a penguin. Penguins don't fly, right? So they're unclean.
It don't say that. Let's get Leviticus chapter 11 and start at verse 19. All right, real quick. Hold on. We'll touch on that real quick. You got 2 seconds for us?
I got two. You know, I got 2 seconds for anything.
Okay, all praise the Most
With
High.
the Lord, come on now.
Yeah, I want to finish with it because it's a bit. So, real quick, I'm gonna get to the question. We hold it. It's right here, right? But nevertheless, so brothers, we the Israelites. That's how we know that we the Israelites, by literally keeping the commandments, not eating pork, not eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. That's what we're gonna show you next.
Wait,
But also,
it says that in the Bible too?
yeah, we're gonna show you.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales.
So he said, whatever we eat that come out of water, it has to have fins and scales. Now, me, I'm gonna say I was a catfish kind of shit, man, before I knew, but I didn't know that catfish was an unclean beast, because catfish have fins, but they don't have scales.
It's a bottom
It's a
feeder.
bottom feeder, right? So nevertheless, we understood like, dang, we can't even eat this.
Right.
But only thing that we eat, it has to have fins and scales. But we know we love shrimp, crab, lobster, clam. I used to eat clams and oysters. Why? I don't know.
But I'll tell you what though.
Right?
You like salmon?
You eat salmon.
There you go.
Yeah. You got salmon, you got cod, you got whiting, you got a lot of buffalo fish, you got a lot of clean fish, but we don't know about those because they only put catfish. And then, they only promote catfish, if I'm being honest. What other fish they? Pasta. That's all catfish, though. No, out of all the fish that we go catch in the water, why is it only catfish that they promote? Man? Because they want to keep us in
Because they
sin.
want to get us far away from who we
That's
are.
right, brother. That's
So they
right.
can
That's
continue to
right.
rule us.
That's right, brother. That's right.
Yeah.
Brother on fire. Yeah, that's right. So, but that's how we know that we the Israelites. And we're just going through the Bible scriptures. Also, the Lord said we gotta wear fringes.
I noticed that too. Everybody. Yeah,
Let's show the brother that real quick, right?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Right. Let's get Numbers 15 and 38 for the brother.
Yeah,
real quick.
I noticed
Right.
that.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations. Throughout their generations.
Gotta say right, so we know we still generate, right?
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
That's why when you see all the brothers, we got a ribbon of blue on there. It can be any color fringe, like you got white, I got black,
They all
gold,
got blue.
right? But it gotta be the border of blue. It was a royal color back then, man. Right? But keep on.
And it shall be upon you, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, and do them.
men who was gathering sticks on the Sabbath day, and they was like, well, what should we do? They came to Moses like, what should we do? Moses, and the Lord told Moses, hey, be stoned, man. But then he committed us to wear the fringes as a reminder to keep the commandments. So the Lord, you know, we are people of
conscience, right? Just to be on your conscience.
Right. Exactly. Because we're forgetful people, man. We're forgetful people. So God said, you know what, issue them fringes on so they can have a physical reminder to keep the commandments, man. So that's why we wear the fringes. All praise. So,
that's right.
Y'all got any questions or concerns?
No, sir. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to come back.
Okay, all praise. So one question, what did the Lord call us again, brother? According to the Bible?
The Hebrew Israelites.
That's right. Brother. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. So we're Israelites.
So we shouldn't even call ourselves black, right?
No. Why we call ourselves black?
Why?
It's the Lord never called us black.
Never.
Right? So yeah, like the brother said, it's a byword. Why would we call ourselves black when we know who we are now?
Right.
That's like calling myself everything. That's now you're keeping the curses on you. Calling yourself a byword, man. So keeping the curses on you. Why keep the curse on you if you know who you are now? Right? So yeah, concept. Brother, we Israelites, brother.
This is like a little class I just
All praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. All right, brother. All praises. All right, so let's get that for the sister. All right, brother. Come on. So, sister, the Lord never said that we can't eat chicken.
You to blame everything on me.
They jamming, ain't they? Dan Rue over here. Dan Rue.
That's the book of Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 19. Verse 19?
You start at 18.
Verse 18. And the swan.
Okay.
And the swan and the pelican and the gear eagle.
I'm gonna start in the very beginning. I guess we'll just start at 13.
We start at 13, sis.
Verse 13.
Okay.
And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls.
So now we're gonna know the fowls, the things that we can eat. The Lord. Now we're gonna just read.
Okay.
They shall not be eaten, they are an abomination. The eagle and the ostrich and the osprey and the vulture and the kite after his kind. Every raven after his kind, and the owl and the nighthawk and the cacao and the hawk after his kind. And the little owl and the cormorant and the great owl and the swan and the pelican and the gear eagle and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing and the bat.
So when you read it, it never specifies the chicken. If God said that we wasn't supposed to eat chicken, it would have been either the real name for it or the ancient name for it. The Lord, so the Lord don't want to eat the prey animals like an eagle, like a bat, all these different things. Now, when you go into it too, it's a little deeper because certain animals, like some people may think you can eat like a pelican or something.
Right.
Or I mean, it's like a penguin. It's like a penguin or something. But the Lord has the clean animals. They have certain attributes. Like I'm gonna pull something up. Can I pull something up for you?
Can I say something real quick? Because maybe I read a different Bible type of.
It's the King James version.
See, I read like an easy to read version. So they told me like, oh, you can't really eat that you can't fly like a penguin. Penguins can't fly, or you can't eat an animal with a hug. Like a pig.
Okay.
Pigs are, that's haram, right? That's super bad. You never want to eat a pig.
Right.
Because you got a hug. You got like
What you saying, sister?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm finna show you. I want to show you this.
The foot of a pig. Yeah.
Okay, sister, real quick. Because like when it comes to certain animals, like that's why the Lord said it's for the king to hide the thing, but it's for the Lord to conceal the thing, but for the kings or for us to search it out. So I'm gonna show you this. Because we were just going into this actually about like certain clean beasts, certain clean birds. I just gotta find it. Okay. They have certain attributes that I'm gonna just type it in right now. This is all edification right here through the spirit, right? So clean bird attributes.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, you got it, sis.
Thank you, all you guys, all you kings, so much for doing this.
All praise to the Most High.
I really appreciate this. We I do. I don't know about other people, but I do.
All praise.
This has really made my night.
So now something else that like when you go into it, when you read the Bible, most clean birds they have common attributes. Like most clean birds, it says these classifications are often based on observation characteristics like the presence of a crop. You know what a crop is? It's all on the way that they digest their food. Just like how cows have different stomachs to help digest their food.
Right.
The same way birds. So it says of a crop and of a gizzard. We all know because some people eat gizzards. But it says with a double lining and whether they are birds of prey. Remember I was telling you, most unclean birds are birds of prey. Right? So when you go into it, also they feet, you'll see they feet like, what's that thing that runs an ostrich? You see the difference in the ostrich? They feet look like a big toe, like it's a Yeah. No, we gotta. Hey, it's a visual. Let's, we're visual people, so I'm gonna show you real quick.
Okay.
Right.
Let that go.
So,
Big toe.
yeah, I don't think we got it on there, but I'm just gonna show you for visual, right?
Yeah. Appreciate it.
So,
What about web feet, like a duck?
yeah.
Like you know web, you know like a.
Kind.
Yeah.
But ducks are unclean.
That's what I'm saying. So.
I'm gonna show you the difference between a chicken foot
Okay.
and all praise to the Most High. We was going into the chicken foot versus a damn ostrich foot.
Okay.
Right. And you would just notice like we comparing the attributes to it.
Right. Exactly.
Now the chicken feet, it look like they kind of got like 5 toes in the 6 fork, like a chicken. Most clean birds like a pigeon. A pigeon is a clean animal, and their feet is just like this. Right. So let's go back, and I'll show you. Now let's look at the. Let's see. I'm trying to show the ostrich. Look at this. These are birds that it's not a clean, their foot is not as of a clean animal. Like a damn big toe. Look at the ostrich, he got 2 toes. He got 2 toes, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at this. Oh, wow.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
But versus, so that's why you gotta that's why you gotta compare the attributes of a clean beast to an unclean beast.
Right.
So that's why like it's more to it than just obviously what the Bible says, but you gotta compare characteristics. How do you say that? Compare attributes. That's what I would say.
Right, but a chicken is a clean animal, we can eat it. A pigeon is a clean animal, we can eat it. A dove is a clean animal, and what do you see that they all have in common? They all have the same type of feet, right? They don't have, what's the word? They don't have a big toe. They all have gizzard. Most of them have the gizzard, and they have the crop. So those are the attributes of a clean beast, how you would know what's clean and unclean. Right? So that's just a little scholarly that you had to go into a little bit more. But chicken is a clean animal.
Okay, good to know.
We wouldn't steer you wrong.
No, I appreciate this. Like I said, I love to learn. Like I said, I'm still growing in my faith. And I'm a Christian. I believe in the Lord.
Okay, so I got a question for you. I know you say you're a Christian. So, as far as, do you know who you are according to the Bible? Because you say you're a Christian, but you know that God actually gave us a nationality out of the Bible.
I'm American. I was born here. I'm
okay,
American.
So if I got a question. If I was to go into the Bible, would I be able to find American as a nation of people? No, right? So that's what I'm more asking. As far as the Bible speaks of, what would be our nationality according to that?
That's true.
So I know you had one thing kind of late with our brother and his son position, but when you go into it, I'm gonna just tell you right now, since we will be the Israelites. That's when
right.
You go to Christian, I'm Christian, and those are literally ill terms that we was given. Let's get that Acts chapter 26 and 11. I'm gonna show you. The first time that they was called a Christian, it was in Antioch, and it was more of a derogatory term versus something that was like a positive thing.
Okay.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 26 and verse 11. And I punished them.
11:26. I said it wrong. 11:26. Like it.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 11 and verse 26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch.
That's why. So in Antioch, they was used like, y'all following Christ, y'all Christians. So that was more of a derogatory term. Now we understand to be Christ, like to keep the commandments and follow after Christ. As of what it means, but technically we're not Christian, but we are followers of Christ. But nevertheless, to go even deeper than that, we gotta know who we are as a people, right? Because we can say we're a Christian, but remember, God never gave us a religion. He gave us a heritage and a nation of people. Saying you Christian, not gonna get you to the kingdom of heaven, right? Because that's what you want, right, sis? You sound like you're a believer, you got the faith, all pretty good spirit through the spirit, but we're gonna show you if you got time. We're gonna try to show you how we know who we are according to the Bible. Now, it sounds like you familiar with the Bible. So, the people of God, who was the chosen people of God? According to the Bible. Not according to what I said. Right. What the Bible says. Did you know that it was the chosen people?
Because I'm about to say we are the chosen people.
Okay. Would you say like we as in everybody in the world, or us as so-called colored or black people?
No. I'm talking about like everybody. Yeah, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the class. All right, let's get the class. Let's get Deuteronomy 7. Let's get Deuteronomy 1 first. So we're gonna let you know, sister, that's not true.
Okay.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 1.
Bring it out.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Who? And Israel, whom I have chosen.
When you go to the Bible, the Lord didn't have chosen. They were called the Israelites. They were chosen above all the other races the nations of the earth to be set apart as the chosen of God. Why? Because he made that promise with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that he was going to choose us to be the chosen. So Israel is the chosen of God, right? But it gets even deeper. We got to figure out who are the Israelites. Since you may be an Israelite, all right? We're going to try to show you that. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28, right?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
In verse 1. Right, so I'm only going here just to show you who Moses is.
Yeah, Moses.
What was he known for?
Wasn't he? He was the one who went to Mount Zion, right? Didn't he go to Mount Zion?
Well, you may confuse it a little bit, but he went to the mount with the Most High God. He was the one who was given the tablets of stone, and he was the one who was coming and set his people free across the river. Right? When you go into it, remember the Red Sea. He split the Red Sea and brought his people through it. Did that ring any bells?
Yeah, I have to read again.
It's cool.
I feel kind of bad now.
It's okay. But that's why we're here. We're just trying
I
to
have
fill
to
you in.
reread it.
Okay, it's okay.
I do
It's
remember
okay.
Moses. He married an Ethiopian, right?
Well, I mean, she wasn't Ethiopian, but I know what you mean. That would be the
I have a
man.
question too, because you said that Abraham is our forefather, but wasn't Noah? He had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Japheth ruled the whites. Like he went to like the word like the whites. Ham, blacks, dark skins, and then Shem was mixed. He was part of the mix. So technically, we're part of Ham.
So we'll show you, right? So we can get to that point. We're going to it, right? We're going to it just for the case. Ham would be the progenitor of the so-called African American.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So-called, but they're the progenitor of the Africans. So you know, like the Cushite, the Hamite, those are actual African descendant people. We are not. We're Shemites. We come from Shem because of who we descend from. Let's get that. Let's get Genesis 10. Let's show our sister real quick.
Okay.
Genesis 10, right? And we're gonna start at I believe I want to 6.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 5. By these were the isles of the Gentiles of verse 6, and the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan.
Right, so when you go into these are the sons of Ham. Now, when you go into the land that they dwelled in all the super hot places, man. Right? But keep on.
And the sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, and Sabta.
Right. So, not to go into it. These are the sons of Ham. And we're gonna go into the descendants as well, but let's go into Shem. Let's go to verse number 2.
Okay.
And unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber,
Right.
the brother of Japheth, the elder.
Right.
Even to him were children born.
Right.
The children of Shem.
The children of who?
The children of Shem.
Right.
Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, and Lud,
Right. So,
and Aram.
So what I'm going into right now is I'm just going into these different names of like the so-called Hamites. They are the so-called Africans. It's a difference between the African and the Israelite. Let's get Exodus
7.
chapter 11 and verse number
7.
7.
It's the book of Exodus.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord doth put a difference.
That the Lord do what?
That the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
The Egyptians, they were the Hamites. Their descendants literally were from the lineage of Ham. But when you go into the Israelites, they are descendants of Shem. So that's why when you read Exodus 11 and 7, it says that he put a difference between them. They weren't the same people. So when we go into our descendants, we know that we're the Israelites and we we come from the Shemitic tribe. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, because our forefather is Jacob. You ever heard of Israel or Jacob? Jacob. So yeah, he came from Shem. Right. So I'm just going into a real on a low level right now, right? So Israel, Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. And if you descend from Israel, the actual man, that will make you an Israelite. So, sister, when we go into our history and our lineage, we would be those Israelites. But also, when you go into these Deuteronomy 28 and these curses, they're going to be identifying markers on who the chosen people are, how we know. Right? Our people was the ones who was going into slavery or slave ships. What race of people went into slavery or slave ships besides ours? As a whole. Collective. Right. Just historically speaking.
Sorry, I'm
Not
not
too
doing
familiar.
history.
Okay, that's good. But when you go into it, it was our people. Like, excuse me, your mind.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool. I just want to show you this.
Who was the people who was on those slave ships? Who was the one shackled up and brought together on these things? What race of people did that happen to? It was our people. So when you go into like the history, these things happen to our people.
Wow.
But when you go, it's even deeper. It happened to our people because we didn't keep God's commandments.
Right.
Right? So it all, that's why we're going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1 to show you that God said that these, if we was to keep God's commandments, those things wouldn't even happen to us.
That is true.
We would have been above everybody. But the reason that we didn't, when we didn't listen, it happened to our people. Why? Because of the fact that we was disobedient. The Lord is about obedience. If you don't be obedient, things gonna happen. Just like with our parents, if we don't listen to what they say, it's gonna be a consequence.
Exactly.
Same way with the Lord. Let's bring that out. Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken,
If we don't listen to keep God's commandments,
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
So I know we just said a lot, went through a lot, and we just came through a little bit of history in the Bible, but God said that if we didn't listen to keep his laws and his commandments, we was going to have curses placed upon us. What is a curse, a good or a bad thing?
It's bad.
It's bad, right? So that's why when we read from Deuteronomy 28 and 16 on down, these all are curses that was placed upon a certain group of people who really the Israelites, but whoever fit those things, they would be the Israelites. Right? So let's read Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Show you that sign right there. Who that happened? You said it happened to so-called black people.
Yeah, right.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Wait, what?
With ships.
God said that he's going to bring us into